Hello Panthers, we are taking a look at section 4.3, which is greatest common factor. Our learning target or objective for today is to be able to find the greatest common factor or GCF of a set of numbers. Now Panthers, this is a skill that you have worked on in elementary school, so this will be a good review. We are going over greatest common factor because it is really going to help us, particularly when we begin our section with fractions. So make sure your notes are in front of you. You have a writing utensil. Also, if you could have your prime number chart and your divisibility rule note card out in front of you, you'll find that to be helpful as well. We have one vocabulary term that we want to make sure we know the definition of, and that's greatest common factor. The greatest common factor is the largest common factor of two or more whole numbers. Go ahead and pause me if you need to get caught up, but the greatest common factor, or GCF, is the largest, there's that greatest word, common factor, where factors are numbers that multiply together, of two or more whole numbers. It's the largest factor that two numbers have in common. So let's take a look at example 1. One thing that we want to be able to do here is when we are given a set of numbers, like letter A, 28 and 42, we need to be able to find the biggest number that can be divided into 28 and 42. There's a couple of different methods here that we have in our notes. There's method A, just making a list. B, you can use the prime factorization. I'm going to show you the third method, C, which has to do more with like the ladder method or birthday cake method. And then we're going to follow up with a problem solving application. So looking at letter A, we have the numbers 28 and 42. One way you could do this, which is really Panthers the longest way, is just listing out all the numbers that go into 28 and 42. We kind of did this earlier with kind of that rainbow method. So if we start with 28, we know 1 times 28 is 28, 2 times 14 is 28, and 4 times 7 is 28. So there's all those factors. For 42, we could think 1 times 42 is 42, 2 times 21, 3 times 14, and 6 times 7. So when you're looking at this, what I want you to do is circle the greatest common factor they have and they both share. And the biggest number that they both share would be 14. Okay? They also share 7 and they also share 2, and every number shares 1, but we want the greatest number that they share. So the greatest common factor of 28 and 42 is indeed 14. Now this method is okay, but again, listing all those factors could take you a while depending on the number. So let me show you another method here using the prime factorization method. Now one way you may do this is maybe like a factor tree. So do what you feel most appropriate for. I'm not going to show you how to do the prime factorization on here, but talk a little bit about the method here. So what we're going to do is first write the prime factorization of each number. Again, this may be through a factor tree, ladder diagram, or birthday cake. You choose. Okay, and again, I'm writing this down. This should also be included in your notes. So find the prime factorization of each number, and I'm not going to take the time to do that, but if I did 18, I would get 2 times 3 times 3. Reminder to you that prime factorization is when you break down these composite numbers into prime numbers that can be multiplied together to get that product. So in other words, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 would give us 18. Do the same thing for 30. You would get 2 times 3 times 5. And again, these are all prime numbers. 24 can be broken down by doing 2 times 3 times 2 times 2. So what you're going to do for this method is find the common prime factors. What are the factors that each of these numbers have? Well, they both all have a 2. Okay. They all have a 3. Okay. This one has an extra 3. They don't all have 5, so I can't circle that, and then those other ones have 2s. So we take all the ones that they have in common. They all share a 2, and they all share a 3. So what you're going to do is find the product. Remember, product means to multiply. What's the answer when you multiply 2 and 3 together? So the greatest common factor, or the biggest number that goes into 18, 30, and 24 evenly, is the number 6. So Panthers, we're got a little space up here. I want to show you a method that I really like. I think it's one of the fastest methods. It kind of combines like the birthday cake method, but does it all in one. So I'm going to show you this method using the numbers 18, 30, and 24. We're going to draw a layered birthday cake. I'm going to separate them with the lines, okay? So go ahead and make your first level of your birthday cake. And here's how this works, Panthers. Using your prime number chart. Just like we did with the ladder diagram and birthday cake, start with the smallest prime number, which is 2, and ask yourself, does 2 divide evenly into 18, 30, and 24? It does, because they are all even. So I'm going to divide these. I'm going to do 2 goes into 18 9 times, just like a division problem. 2 goes into 30 15 times, and 2 goes into 24 12 times, just like we did the birthday cake. So there I made another layer of my birthday cake. Okay. Now continue dividing by 2 until you can't anymore. So does 2 go into 9? Oh, it doesn't. So let's go up to the next prime number, which is 3. Does 3 go into 9 evenly? Yes. So let's try. Does 3 go into 15 evenly? Yes. Does 3 go into 12 evenly? It does. So because it goes into all of these numbers, Panthers, we can put it on the outside of the cake and then divide. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 15 5 times. And 3 goes into 12 4 times. Okay. We'll make another layer of our birthday cake, but something's going to happen this time. So we're going to continue dividing by 3 until we can't anymore. Does 3 go into 3? Yep. Does 3 go into 5? Nope. Notice these are both prime numbers, so we are done. Now if you take a look on the outside, Panthers, there are 2 common factors. If you remember, if we multiply these together, 2 times 3 is 6. So once again, we get the greatest common factor, but we did it in several less steps than we did with the other methods. I like the birthday cake method the best. I'm not sure about you. Choose what's most comfortable for you, but I like the birthday cake method. So turn to the next page. We're looking at this problem-solving application. How is greatest common factor important in our everyday lives? So here is a real-life example. Let's go ahead and read this together and cube it. Jenna has 16 red flowers and 24 yellow flowers. She wants to make bouquets with the same number of each color flower in each bouquet. What is the greatest number of bouquets she can make? Let's go back, Panthers. We have 16 red flowers, 24 yellow flowers. She wants to make bouquets with the same number of each color in each bouquet. What is the greatest number of bouquets she can make? So understanding the problem here, step 1, the answer will be the greatest number of bouquets, 16 red flowers and 24 yellow flowers, can form so that each bouquet has the same number of red flowers and each bouquet has the same number of yellow flowers. Step 2, making a plan. Whenever you're looking at story problems, one way, make a plan about how you're going to solve it. An organized list is always a great option. And step 3, we're going to go ahead and solve. So, remember, one thing that you can do here is kind of set up some bouquets and go through, but this really is a greatest common factor problem, the greatest common factor a little bit. When you're looking at this, you could set up this diagram here and go through different options. If we were to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bouquets, that would allow us to have 2 reds in each bouquet, because 2 times 8 is 16. It would also allow us to have 3 yellow. 3 times 8 is 24. Every flower in the bouquet would be even. Each bouquet would have 2 reds and 3 yellows. So the greatest number of bouquets that she can make is 8. Now, again, thinking about this, greatest common factor. If we go back and look at it, okay, if we have 16 and 24, you can see the factors listed here, but I'm going to show you the birthday cake method. Please write this in your notes. Start with your lowest prime number, which is 2. Class, does 2 go into 16 and 24? It does. They're both even numbers. 2 divides into 16 8 times, and 2 divides into 24 12 times. Another layer of your birthday cake. Okay. 2 goes into both of these numbers again because they're both even. So again, we're going to divide by 2 until we can't anymore. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 12 6 times. These again are both even, so we're going to do 2 again. 2 goes into 2 2 times, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So you see we're left here with 2 prime numbers, so we're done. If we look on the outside and multiply these together, 2 times 2 times 2 indeed is 8. So we know that we're good. So Panthers, go ahead and finish this up and have a fabulous evening.